Hello, hello. Welcome to another live stream. Today, there's very interesting things to talk about. Obviously, you probably saw if you've been, if you've been in the trenches, if you haven't been living under a rock, that Axiom is now supporting BNB trading. So I wanted to take the occasion to talk a little bit about how I feel about it and how I'm actually trading BNB at the moment very successfully. We've been making very successful calls in my group, and I want to talk about a little bit of the interface, the way that I would set it up, and also a little bit of wallet tracking, because in the live streams that I've had here, I've never really talked about wallet tracking. So although I don't want to go too specific about it, because I know that a lot of you guys are beginners, I don't want to just go too heavy in details. I want to keep it as a very general overview about how you can use it. And I don't mean copy trading these people, but I'm going to give you like some insights into wallet tracking, how to set up your filters, and how to basically start from zero to trenching some meme coins on BNB. And by the way, the things really between chains apply. I mean, the filters on Solana are not going to be that different from the one on BNB. Obviously, there's going to be different platforms involved, the different launch pads, and a little bit of different things also when it comes to the fee technologies, that all the filters that you're going to put. So I'm going to go through all of it. Smash the likes. Let's get started. So how do you get started? The first thing that you do is you get access to Axiom, and the link is down in the description. That also gives you 10% on discount fees. So that's good. I mean, it's like 1% of platform fees, but with the link that we have here, it's going to be 0.90. That is like a common practice from trading bot to charge 1%. So if you get anything less than 1%, it's usually good. There's not really better out there. But again, that is good. And what you're going to do is basically you're going to have, by the way, I'm using obviously a dummy wallet right now. I'm not trading with this. It's not set up for trading. It's just set up for the live streams, okay? But you're going to have a wallet here. Okay, so there's a wallet address. You can copy it. Don't send money to this one. Send money to your wallet. That's obviously, you know that, all right? And then you're gonna basically have BNB on your MetaMask, on your centralized exchange, and from there, you're gonna withdraw BNB onto your BNB wallet. After you have money on your BNB wallet, you can actually start trading, okay? And one of the best sections to start your trading on Axiom, in my opinion, is the post category. There's also a discover category. This is kind of working like, the page of the screener or everything that is trending on the chain. There could also be complete scams and garbage just trending right here. So in my opinion, I just wouldn't bother with this page. I would start with posts, okay? This needs to be your interface. Your alpha is right here sitting in front of your eyes. There's going to be a majority of them are going to go to zero, but you don't need me to tell you that, okay? The majority of these are absolute garbage, but even with the majority of things that are garbage, if you buy low and sell high, you're going to be making money. It's all about your entry and selling before the coin goes to zero, okay? That should be common sense, but again, if you're not in the trenches, perhaps you think that you can just hold them and go grab a coffee, go out for dinner. No, it doesn't work like that. In fact, if I'm not sitting in front of my screen, I'm not doing trenches. I could just buy something on the screener and just forget about it. But if I have something, from new pairs and final stretch, etc., I need to be in front of the screen. I need to be on top of the game. And also, before I go into the filters, I also want to make the distinction of how people have different styles of trenching, and what works for me might not necessarily work for you, and vice versa. I know so many of my friends or people that I follow that do a lot of new pairs trenching. New pairs trenching means basically just picking all the plays that are here, that are being born in a few seconds, basically, or 1 minute or something like that, and then trenching that. That is not my specialty, so I'm gonna say it right here. What I specialize in is something that maybe goes to final stretch right before bonding or right after bonding. This is the kind of trenching that I do. There's other trenchers, like you can go on KOLscan.com, and there's gonna be a lot of guys that do a lot of new pair stuff, but obviously that is incredibly high risk. The majority of them go to zero within a few seconds. So if you're a beginner, I would advise you to not bother with new pairs. I would just focus on stuff that has already migrated or final stretch. What does migrated mean? It means basically to complete the bonding curve. Forget about this, it's a scam. But when you see here migration market cap, okay, if it's very close to the migration market cap, it's going to be into the final stretch category. If it migrates, so the bonding curve completion goes to 100%, it's going to go to sorry, it's going to go to migrated. And after it goes to migrated, it's basically listed on PancakeSwap, and it's going to take liquidity from there, etc., etc. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So when it comes to the filters, there's also presets that you can do. I'm going to do the presets later, but let's start with the filter. So you're going to have different filters from new pairs, final stretch, and migrated. I basically didn't set this up, so I'm just going to tell you what I would personally do. New pairs, as I said, I wouldn't bother too much if you're a beginner, but at least you can select what protocols you want to trade. So if you trade stuff there, obviously there's the Binance Launchpad, but let's say Uniswap or PancakeSwap, okay? So DEXs. If it's listed there, it's basically launched by a third-party developer. You're going to encounter a lot of scams like this, and it's the old school way of launching CAs. I would not recommend this if you're not an expert or if you don't have insider information, which in the majority of cases you're not going to have. For meme is basically the pump fund equivalent on the Binance Smart Chain. So I would say focus on that. So you can toggle or untoggle them. You can see you can select all and select all. Okay, I'm just going to leave for.meme. And then this is like the pair. So the pair is going to be the ticker that you're trading and then the counterpart. That is going to be BNB in the majority of cases. It could be wrapped BNB in some other cases. And it could even be stable coins. But you need to be aware that if you're trading a stable coin pair on Axiom, there's basically going to be a conversion in place. So your BNB is going to be swapped for a stable coin, and then the stable coin is going to be swapped for the ticker that you're actually purchasing. I don't recommend doing that because you lose a lot of time, and it's usually just insider bullshit. I wouldn't bother with that. Pairs with Aster, I don't really trade them. Cake. This, I don't even know what it is. But anyway, forget about it. I would keep wrap BNB and USD1. USD1 is something, I'm going to do another tangent on that. So let's leave it for now. Then we have keyword targeting. This, unless you're trying to snipe, and I'm gonna, if you guys want a lesson on snipe, I can also do it. Just leave it down into the live chat comments. But for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna talk about sniping, but I'm gonna just tell you that with the keyword function, if you know that there's a cat dropping and his name is Bob, okay? You're gonna put Bob, Bobcat, Cat Bob, stuff like that, okay? And then basically every CA that is going to be filtered is going to be containing that into the keyword or into the name of the thing. So if you're not sniper, you just leave it out. Or let's say that you also want to buy Bob, but you're sure that it's a cat, you're going to exclude dog. I don't know, something like that. If you exclude it, it's not going to... all the CAs that are going to pop out are basically not going to include a keyword and vice versa. I mean, this shouldn't be that complicated. DEXPaid, if you're trading new pairs, obviously the majority of them are not going to have DEXPaid, so you're basically like shooting yourself in the foot if you activate it. But you could perhaps activate it into the final stretch category or even better into the migrated category. Then when it comes to age, this is something that is interesting. I know a lot of people don't even bother about putting this, but I do like to put it, especially if I'm trading new pairs. So new pairs, I mean, people might disagree on this, but I usually put 2 minutes just because if something has been like in new pairs and it's not in final stretch for more than 2 minutes, it's probably not going to go anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to put it there. Top 10 holders. If it's something like a new pair, I wouldn't bother too much about it because obviously there could be a sniper that just buys 5% from a wallet or maybe 7 or 8%, then realizes and then sells part of his bag because he realizes that nobody's going to buy if he has 7% of and something. But I wouldn't bother. Dev holding. You could even put max 1% if you want something that the dev has sold already. Usually the dev holding is very bearish when you launch this, unless there's an actual tech in place. But if it's a meme, if it's a cat or something, the dev needs to sell. If it's something like, I don't know, a reward protocol or something that has a utility, the dev should be in, obviously. Snipers, don't bother with new pairs. Holders, don't bother. Like, honestly, in the majority of cases, the less filters for new pairs, the better. I would just focus on the time frame. But if you're not using too many filters, there's probably you know, not gonna be much to worry about in the first place, because if you put like 2 minutes, everything's gonna be focused in there, and you don't need to worry about more stuff. Okay, so that should be it. And now you can see there is a day with very low trading volume, so there's not many pairs. So this maybe works a little bit on Solana. Let's put 5 minutes. Okay, so for now, the thing is, like, you can see so much more here than Solana, because look, if I go on Solana and I put 5 minutes, look, I have 5 minutes here. Look how many launches are in Solana for 5 minutes. So this could also be a piece of advice. Like, if you want something that is less hectic, then definitely the BNB chain is going to be better. But for Solana, I would definitely put like 2 minutes. Because look, even in 2 minutes, look how many launches we have on Solana. And BNB, very few. By the way, to switch in between, there's just a button that you toggle right here. All right. So from Solana to BNB. So that's easy. Okay. Final stretch, it gets a little more complicated. For the protocols and the token pair, I would leave the same. For age, age is I don't know. There's different approaches that you can take to this. If there's a day with a lot of volume, I would not do more than like 30 minutes in there. But if it's a day that has very low volume, you can put even up to 2 hours. There's obviously cases in which a token is going to do absolutely nothing for, you know, like 3-4 hours, and then after 6 hours it bonds. But this used to be a thing maybe in 2024. Right now, it's no longer the case, at least in the majority of cases, unless there's going to be a big KOL to ape in, and I'm going to tell you about what I mean in a second. Dev holding, you could put it again, but I would not bother with that. Snipers, maybe you can put like something like percent or like 30% max. Holders, it should have a minimum, what shall we say, maybe a 100, just to avoid that it's just like a farm or something like that. Dev migration, I didn't talk about this, but perhaps you can put like even just one, will make a difference, because if someone has put something out there and has migrated, at least it has a minimal track record. Obviously, if there's one migration over 1,000 token launches, it's not that good. But if it's just like a scammer that just keeps launching farms and they are 10K topper, if you put dev migration at 1, you avoid those sort of situations. And dev pairs created, I wouldn't bother. Here you can also think about metrics. So metrics, I wouldn't bother about market cap and volume with new pairs or with final stretch, but for the bonding curve, you can put something like a minimum like 20% just to have like a little bit of skimming from new pairs. Transactions, I would keep it simple, to be honest. I will keep it simple. And here on socials, if you want to play a little safer, you can put at least one social. So it's going to have like one community, a website, or a Telegram, or the Telegram groups are not really used anymore for meme coins. It used to be a thing. If you were around last year, you remember that if a meme coin didn't have a Telegram, it was incredibly bearish. Right now, I would say that it's the opposite. Twitter reusers, this is also interesting. I think they put it only recently. I don't think it was there before. But what it does is basically, let me show you. So I'm going to put one. Let's just go on this one, just a random one. Okay, so if you just put your cursor here, you can see the handle on Twitter. If it's in the orange or the red, it means that the Twitter account is being reused. So what does it mean? It means that this was used by another organization or another individual, and then they updated the username. If they updated the username and it was, I don't know, the account of a dog, and then it becomes like a DeFi project, there's probably something brewing there. It's probably going to be a LARP project. It's probably going to rug, etc., etc. If it's just one clean account, it's better, and especially if it's verified. Okay, so if something has been used like 8 times over, it's probably a scam. Okay, very important. Some people don't even know about this, by the way, and it surprises me. Okay, when migrated, you could perhaps put more quote tokens. I want to keep it simple. I'm going to put the same. Binance, I don't want to trade these ones. But you're going to have like very similar indicators, to be completely honest. But what I would do here on migrated, I would put perhaps some minimum market cap. So let's say that I put minimum market cap of $40,000. So what it does is it basically excludes the rugs. So if something went to 100K market cap and then it rugged, then it's like 10, 20K market cap. Yeah, it could be CTO, bro. Yeah, it could bounce. Yeah, I get it. But in the majority of cases, listen, like if it's low, you probably shouldn't bid in the first place if it tanks so damn much, okay? So I just do this. What else am I gonna put? You can put volume. I wouldn't bother. Age, you can also put age, let's say age 3 hours, so 180 minutes. Top 10 holders, 20% maximum. Dev holding, let's say 5. Snipers, like 30. Damn. You see, much less. Let's see, maybe if I remove the holders. No, even then I will probably, listen, given that it's also a low day of volume, and also we're talking about the weekend. In the weekend, there's going to be much less volume than a weekday. So maybe we can put like 300. See, 2 pairs. So if you're on a low volume day, just expand your filters a little more. That's all that I can tell you. Like if I put more, you see, you're going to have something that was created. But you see, not many tokens are migrating. And this is a very bearish day. The market, like today, very few people are in the trenches, and it's a weekend day. If it's a day during the week, rest assured there's going to be way more migration than what you can see right now, okay? So I hope this makes sense. This is a very like intro level. Like you see, for instance, if you're putting something that is like so low in market cap, if you don't put this filter, you're going to have something that went to like 400K market cap, and right now it's like 40K, okay? Okay, why don't we say hello to some people in the chat? Because I still haven't opened a single comment. Yo, people, what's up? What's up, the GOAT? I like your username. I'm here to learn, Sensei, and I shall teach you. We have a lot of army supporters. What's up? What's up to the army? Let's take the army chart, actually. Army is actually starting a reversal. So people thought that it was going to zero. No, far from it. If anything, army is coming back. So it bottomed out at 1 million. That is obviously a very important psychological level. And it's already bouncing back a little bit yesterday. So if you bought the bottom, by the way, I told my group, I would buy the bottom. I'm buying more. I'm buying the bottom. From 1 million to 2 million in a few hours. Something is happening. Something is happening. I do expect just a huge reversal. Only time will tell. Only speculation on my end. In my opinion, things are coming, okay? 1.60 million. So right now, if you're buying, let's say that you want to buy. I'm not telling you to buy. Do whatever you want. It's your own money. But if you want to buy right now, you're buying a retracement from 2 million to 1.60. Let's see what happens. I remain very bullish. And I think that the chart right here in this live stream should make you very bullish because people are bull posting. Like, I'm not telling these people to come on my live stream. Look at that. Army. What is this for show? What? I don't know. Army is honored to have your support, Cepryl, and I'm honored to have you guys on the live stream without even me saying it. Like, this is the communities that you want to, you know, that you want to be part of. And also, what did I let me bring my profile, by the way. Oh, and guys, if you're not following me on X, on also my personal YouTube channel, like the links are gonna be down in the description of this video, or I mean on X, I'm Cepryl with 1_, the verified one. There's only one. There's also a free Telegram group, and obviously if you want to print with me with the private community that I'm building, that is, in my opinion, the best alpha group when it comes to meme coins. It's also going to be linked down in the description. People are making big money there, whether the market is bullish or bearish. We don't care. We're printing regardless. What I wanted to show you, actually, yeah, like, look at this. I'm not going to play it because I think that there's a song, so I don't want to get copyrighted. But I also did a vlog the other day. You can check it out on my channel. It was really fun. I'm also bringing some lifestyle content every once in a while. I did this vlog in Dubai with my friend Plex and fellow KOL, so shout out to Plex. You should also follow that guy. But Army reposted us because I was in this vlog and I was showing the chart of Army. I was like, guys, this is alpha. You should probably buy. And then 1 or 2 days after, the chart started to send. So, I mean, I guess that it was alpha after all. So, yeah, check my eggs for that kind of alpha. Now, back to business. In my opinion, a very good moment to accumulate. That's all that I'm going to say. Shout out to the Army family for being here. Appreciate you a lot. Whoa. Damn. Let's see some other comments. Oh, and this is the CA of Army. If you want to check it out, feel free. Mr. Smurfs donated $20, so I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. There's also another donation, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Motherfucker, this shark can't even read a liter scan. When live trading, I could, to be honest. If you guys are interested, I would be down to do some live trading session. Listen, the only thing that I don't really want to turn these streams into, like if I do a live trading session, like for instance, there's Marpic, like whatever, the first shitter that I find on my screen right now. If I open this thing live, there's probably going to be a lot of buys because people just start copy trading me. And I don't want that, because if you copy trade me, you're going to lose money. If you copy trade anyone, you're going to lose money. This is why there's so many streamers right now on Twitch that are just trench warriors, and they just show what they do in the trenches. But what is happening, and by the way, I don't care. I'm just going to keep it real with you. Like the majority, without making any names, but you probably can imagine who they are. What these people are going to do is basically they buy with their main wallet on the stream. Everybody copy trades them. But what they did is that they have a buddy next to them, or they have another screen in which they have a side wallet. They buy with the side wallet. Then they buy with the main wallet. They farm everyone. You're watching the stream and everybody buys. And then they dump. I mean, it's awful. So I don't want to be associated with those kind of streamers. Obviously, I wouldn't do that kind of thing with the side wallets, but regardless, there's still going to be people that buy after me, and what do? Do I dump on them? That is not what I want to do. So I'm down to be like educative, is that the word? With these live streams, and show you interfaces and show you, hey, this is how I do it. Then you guys do it. You get some knowledge. You get entertainment, education, whatever you want to take out from these live streams, and then you apply it to your own trades. Hope you rise on light. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Any chance no kings on Solana could pop off in the near future? I'm not sure what that is. Let me see. This is on BNB though. Is that one on Sol? I can't see it, bro. But what is this? Like Trump manifest? I don't know. It doesn't seem like a very good narrative, to be honest. What currency is this? NGN? I have no idea, but I appreciate your donation. Thank you for being here. So many donations. Damn. Guys, thank you so much. I mean, shout out to the army. Shout out to the army, even donating money to bring their CA on the screen. Like, guys, this is commitment. This is commitment. Damn. I do, I'm going to do actually trading session live in the Discord. Yes, but for Discord members, obviously. Like, it's a different thing than doing on a YouTube live stream, as you can understand. But we are actually starting to do a lot of live streams and VCs in my Discord. So if you want to get access to like live trading, that probably is the place that you want to be. All right. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to Axiom, okay? So much support for Army. That's crazy. All right. So now, in the next section, I want to talk a little bit about the wallet tracker. So I want to start by saying that, no, I'm not going to share this wallet tracker with you. It's obviously confidential info. Maybe you're going to see a wallet address or two. Feel free to screenshot. I don't care. But I do share this with my private group. So if you get on there, you're going to get access to all my trackers. They are on Solana or BNB. The one on Solana is actually freaking huge. And I also have categorized them for win rate and a lot, okay? For BNB, it's a work in progress. You can see that I don't have too many wallets, but also the volume is going to be much lower. And also, you know, there's obviously going to be way less volume during a day. Is this pre-recorded? No, and you just made a fool out of yourself. So it's not pre-recorded. Why would somebody say it's pre-recorded? I mean, it's crazy. And also people can see an interface in real time. But anyway. All right, so let's say 𝗙𝗍. Let's open 𝗙𝗍 because everybody knows 𝗙𝗍 and this wallet is public anyway. So what you do is that you put this on the wallet tracker. There's also something that, obviously, if you have a list like my guys have, you can just like copy and paste the code, and then your entire wallet tracker is going to be imported. You don't have to do this one by one, okay? But let's say that you do it one by one. So basically, you copy this the wallet address, all right? Then you go to trackers. Then you click on import, you paste it right there, and then you can just like, yeah, that's pretty much done. What you also can do, so look, there's different toggles here that you can activate or not. there's here show toast. This is basically a sound alert. Then this is the bubbles and the feed. This is the feed, the one that you see right here. You can put it on the left, you can put it on up or down, you can do whatever. And then the bubbles. The bubbles is the most important thing, to be honest. So look, here, this is a bubble, okay? This is 𝗙𝗵𝗍𝗍. So let me open the chart. And you're going to see a bubble for any time that somebody from your wallet tracker buys. So here, I basically put my cursor on it. Ghek bought this quantity of money at this market cap. What is so interested is that you can also see what entry they have. So for instance, if you see that Ghek bought 1.6K at 80K market cap, and now it's 160K, it's already 2x. So you're basically going to become X liquidity of this trader. Okay, I think it's a little bit of the connection, but anyway, hope you guys can hear me fine. So what you can see is that basically if this guy bought at like 1/2 of the market cap, then you're obviously becoming X liquidity. So you're not going to do that. But if you see that you're fast enough to see that this guy bought right before you, then you're still going to be on time, okay? This is so important because people are going to be like, oh my God, Ghek bought this. I'm going to buy, so I'm going to become rich. And the chart is going to go like this. No, that's wrong. Because the chart, if he bought here, if he buys here, and then you copy trade him here, he sells on you. Your investment goes to zero. You don't want that, okay? So this is not that hard to understand, but people that are beginners might fall into these mistakes, okay? So let's get it. Now, here you can also see migration. So this M says migrated from Binance. So this is a Binance contract, all right. Here's obviously the green is the buy, the red is the sell. I mean, that is quite intuitive. And here, so I would say the bubble, you should have it on for each and every wallet, the bubble here. But the toast, you should have it just for the main wallets that you're tracking. So if I'm here in front of my screen and somebody just buys immediately and I'm in front of my screen, I'm going to see the pop-up and I'm going to hear, okay, this is going to be called toast. You should have it on only for a selected few. Maybe I really have it for like 4 or 5 traders. And then the bubbles, I have it for every trader. And the feed, I have it for the main one. So, for instance, there's some traders like 𝗙𝗵𝗄𝗅 that are going to farm their audience and they're going to just like do 10 buys. When you see, this is also a very good piece of advice. If you see a trader that has like 10 buys, like these are only buys, okay? Green is buy, red is sell. If there's like 10 buys in a row, you're going to see that the first one is maybe like $1,000. And after that, it's going to be 1 cent, 10 cent, 10 cent, 10 cent, 10 cent, something like that. That guy is basically going to trying to farm you. If he's trying to farm you, he basically wants you to become X liquidity for him. Very important. If you're in before that guy or right after, it's cool. But after, if you get in after the 10th time that he basically farmed the chart is going to go like this. I can tell you from experience. I can tell you these things because I'm in the trenches every single day. I've made a lot of money, but before I started making money in the trenches, I lost a lot of money. So I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. Okay, this is why I'm trying to make these videos for you guys. Also, the amount, you can see it on BNB. And it's so funny because if you think about Solana, people are like, oh, what's Solana? It's nothing, right? And then they do like this and they, oh my God, it's $200. In BNB, it's even worse. This guy, oh, it's not even 1 BNB. 1.1K. 1.1K. It's not even 1 BNB. You guys understand why people lose money? They don't even realize how much money they're putting and losing. I'm also going to say that generally, as a rule of thumb, people on Binance hold longer than on Solana. Solana, you should take profits before. BNB, a little after. Okay? But again, this can vary. It also depends on like if it's a Cabal coin, if it's more organic, etc., etc. Anyway, here you're gonna have the tracker. There's perpetuals also. I think it's partnered with Hyperliquid here. But anyway, I don't do perps on this platform. I use centralized exchanges to do perps. Here in the portfolio, you can see, you're going to be able to see everything that you traded, etc. Yeah, this should cut it for wallet tracker. So what is the moral of the story? What are you going to use for this wallet tracker for? Because obviously, Cepryl, you're telling me to not buy what they buy. Okay, so if you happen to be in front of the screen and you see this guy just buy right now, and you see that it's a low entry, and you're able to buy before all of his copy traders or people that track his wallets can, it can be a good opportunity. Otherwise, you should use this just as a visual, just as a point to just like orientate yourself. Okay, you're gonna be able to tell, oh, this trader has been traded this. Maybe it's at a good entry. But the same rule applies. Buy low and sell high. If you see something that has a green candle like this, you're not going to buy. If you see something that has a red candle like this, provided that it's not rugging, perhaps it's going to be a good opportunity to buy. Also, what I'm going to tell is that as opposed to Solana, the majority of Solana meme coins are in English, right? Because the majority of traders are US, but there's also a lot of in Asia, but they stick to English. But for Binance, for the Binance Smart Chain, a lot of them are in freaking Chinese, and unless you speak Chinese, and hats off to you, you're gonna need a translation. Axiom gives you a translation, so you can see here, good people have good leopards. I'm not sure what is this. I need to see it now. Even on X, yeah, I have no idea what this is about. But anyway, you can see that everything is in Chinese. X offers a translation, but even on Axiom, you're going to be able to see this, okay? But this looks like a scam because why do I say this? You see the top holder, 43%. Just avoid. Obviously, it's a scam. So if you see weird stuff like this, it's a scam. Also, other indicators that are very important for you guys to notice. Look at here. Why was it red? Okay, if the tweet is red, look, if the icon is red, it means that the tweet is old. If something is in the trenches and just picks up and sends, it's gonna be blue. If it's orange, I don't remember the exact time frame. I think it's like up to 1 hour or something like that. If it's red, it's like a few hours to a few days or months or years old. So obviously it's not gonna be relevant anymore. If it's relevant, it's just been posted right now. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So these are just some of the things that you can look out for. Obviously, if you're trenching, you're gonna have a 30-second chart. If you see something that has a green candle like this, it's obviously a scam because there's a big bundle. Look, 71% of a bundle sniped. This is obviously a scam. Let's open something that could be legit. No, scam. This looks okay, although the dev cells are quite weird. Pull up the real coin Clash. Well, what coin is that? Give me the CA. I'm gonna take a look. I have no idea what coin that is. Okay, for presets, I would suggest you one thing. Have one that is like low price, then preset 2, which is what you're gonna use for trenching, like the majority of the time, and now preset 3 that you're gonna use for sniping. So the sniping one should be fast. So leave it on fast. You can even have it on custom, but no need to overthink. Max, I would have it on auto, and I would have very high slippage with MEV mode off. MEV mode off basically doesn't prevent you from being victim to a sandwich attack or a sandwich bot, whatever it is. So basically somebody buys before you, it traps you in the transaction, and then it sells. So you're gonna get a less favorable entry or selling if it's like the other way around. I would not have it obviously if you're sniping, unless, or otherwise just have it on. But if you're sniping, you should have it off, because otherwise what's the point of sniping if the transaction is slower? The MEV mode is going to make the transaction go slower, whereas the normal preset is going to basically sorry, what was I saying? Okay, the secure mode is lower, but it's more secure. If you have it off, the transaction is less secure, but it's faster. So if you're sniping, you should have it on. Does it make sense? I hope it does. And then here, I do find that it's like way easier than Solana. In Solana, I think that you need to worry about the bribe fee a lot more. But on BNB, given the the volume on BNB is much lower than the one on Solana. I don't worry too much about the bribe fee, but again, this is me. This is just what I'm doing with my own trades, okay? And then the preset one, you should probably have MEV mode on. Slippage, perhaps you put 5%, like very low. Priority fee, average. Preset 2, I would still have it on fast, but maybe secure. And then preset 3, fast, but MEV mode off, so you can do that sniping, okay? Just as simple as that. It's not that complicated. This looks good, by the way. What is it? I have no idea who this person is. If you're not Chinese, you probably don't know anything. But for instance, you can see here that it's from the official account of 𝗏𝗏_me, which is the launchpad, is the pump fund equivalent for the BNB Trenches. What else can I show you? I mean, here you can put the amounts that you usually buy. So for instance, you can put 0.1 BNB, here 1 BNB, or perhaps a little less, because 1 BNB is $1,100. It's a lot of money. You can also do multi-wallets, but I think it's too advanced to cover here. There's really not a point to cover multi-wallets. There's also a Twitter tracker that you can create. So what it works is like you add like Twitter handles, and then you can put the wallet tracker here. So you see in real time what those Twitter handles are posting. I don't recommend Twitter trackers if you're a beginner. You should have this if you're really, really advanced. I barely use it myself, but listen, I wouldn't bother if you're a beginner. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions. By the way, I see a lot of comments about shields in this live stream, but if you have any questions or things that you want me to cover, any doubts that you have, I really like to do this educational content, because obviously, you know, I can sit here and tell you buy this, buy that, but if you don't know how to actually trade, you know, it's way more important for you guys to learn the fundamentals of trading, at least in my opinion. So for instance, this is a good organic chart that you can see that has been stolen. You see what I said, that yeah, what did it took? Like a little over 1 hour. In the Solana Trenches, if it's a high volume day, this wouldn't happen. Show us multi-wallets. All right, so with multi-wallets, so here, see this icon? You click on here and you're gonna put multiple wallets. Right now, I don't have any wallets here. Again, I'm not using this account to trade. It's just a dummy to show you the interface. But look, you click on create and you're gonna have this wallet. So let's say 2. I'm gonna call it 2. All right, then you can have another one. You can call it 3. So what it does is that it generates new wallets. Okay, every wallet is gonna have a different wallet address. So when you send money from your centralized exchange or your MetaMask or your BNB wallet, your Binance wallet, whatever, you're gonna send it. If you want to send it to wallet 2, you copy here and then you paste it on your wallet. If you want it on your Axiom main, that you can also rename, I don't know, Tom, you know, you're gonna have to copy this address. Okay, now you can also do multi-wallet by this. And by the way, you can also put them as like the main one. So this puts it as active, but if you do, where is it? When do you put it as main? I think this is different from BNB, from Solana. Oh, okay, here, make primary. So you click on here. Well, I don't really care, all right? You see, so I made primary wallet number 2. And you see that it's orange. All right. Gotta get to all your questions in a second. But anyway, now that I have multiple wallets, I can select, I can just select multiple wallets here, or you can also select them from here, okay? There's like bam, 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 and then you're gonna be able to select multiple wallets. Now I can't do anything because I don't have balance, but what you can do is that you can select more wallets at once. And let's say that I have 2 wallets selected. You're then gonna, every time that you click on here, let's say I buy 1 BNB, it's gonna buy 1 BNB unevenly divided into those 2 wallets. So perhaps it buys 0.4 from one and 0.6 from the other. The total is gonna be 1 BNB, but it's divided by 2 wallets. So if you select 3, it's gonna have around 0.3 in each wallet. One is gonna have 0.3, one 0.4, and one 0.3. like in this case, something like that. But you can buy for multiple, you can buy with multiple like that, and you're also going to be able to sell from multiple wallets. This is also how some people do some very basic level of bundle buys, although there's like professional softwares that people use now to do bundle things, but the majority of those are scammers, so I'm not going to talk about that, okay? Was Slippage too sad when buying 100k market cap coins? It depends. It depends, and I know that I hate to reply as like it depends, but for instance, this one, the volume, this volume looks like botted because it's very low transaction. Anyway, for something like this that is like average volume, I would use 10% slippage. 10%, definitely not 40. 40, just leave it for preset 3. There is like the sniper. Here for buys, I would put like 10, and then you can use preset 5. Preset 1, sorry, that has 5% slippage. Again, this is the way that I do it. I know that everybody has a different way on doing that. So this is just like what I do myself. It works for me, so it could work for you. I keep 1, 5, 1, 10, and 1 like the sniper buy. The sell, you can keep it at like, okay, preset 3. The buy, I would say 30. The sell, I want to be very accurate with the sell, so sometimes I put like 10, even if it's like a sniping setting for sales. For sales. For buys, you want to be fast, 30. Preset 2, let's say your average preset 10. 10 is fine, 10, 10, either way, from buys and sell. By the way, don't buy this just because I'm showing this. I'm just like showing this as an example, okay? Here, preset 1, I would say 5% buy and 5% sell, and people keep buying. I don't know. Anyway, this chart looks good, by the way. I have no idea. What is this? Patrick the Star. Nice, it's funny. Who doesn't like SpongeBob? So yeah, to answer your question, 100k, it's not about the market cap, it's about the volume. If a coin has very low volume, just stick with 5% slippage. Who cares? But if it's like average volume, 10% is fine, otherwise you're going to miss your buy. On a chart like this, you can even use 5%. Your buy is going to go through. The gold is in Patrick from 70k market. I hope the trade works out for you, my friend. Also, another thing that I would say, when do you take profits? Because obviously it's nice to make money, but it's also you know, good to not lose money and to take profits, because if you don't take profits, you're going to lose money. So now this is a beta and they don't have limit orders. Like, what the fuck? They still don't have limit orders, actually. Okay, so here you're going to have to do market buys and sells, which sucks a little bit, but I'm sure they're going to put it. Anyway, let's say that you bought at 70k, like our friend, the GOAT. You would probably take your initial out at like 2x. So let's say here, okay, 170k. So he bought, let's say he bought here around 70k, bam, 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 bam. Here is a 2x. You take your initial out, okay? So 50%, you take it out. You take your initial investment out right here. And then it could be one or two things. The price tanks after, because obviously it's also like a sort of resistance level. The price could tank and maybe goes up. But anyway, it could also go to 0. If it goes to 0, you didn't lose money. You made a little bit of profit. Obviously, not as much as you normally would have. But if it keeps going up, you're obviously running on the house. Because if you take your initial out at 2x, you basically took your initial investment out. So everything that you have in the main coin is just running on the house. All right. So everything here is going to be profit. So let's say I would put just imaginary bars, and here I take like 10 or 20%. Here I take another one. Here I take another one, blah, blah. And then you keep making money. If you're in the trenches, guy, you need to understand that you're trading assets. Can I even call them assets? Like shit. Right, let's just call it for what it is. That could go to 0 in a matter of minutes. So as a result, you need to take your initial investment as soon as possible. Obviously, if you're trading something that has conviction or you have insider info, it's just another piece of the pie. You know, it's a different conversation. But if it's something that is so volatile, take your damn profits, because otherwise, you know, you're just not gonna make it. All right. So I always take my initial 3x up maximum. If I read the chart and I think that it just keeps going up for a little bit, then I take my initial out at 3x, but that is rare. And you need to be already a bit of an expert in the trenches, which obviously I consider myself to be. But for a beginner, 2x, always take your initial. Play it safe, and then you develop knowledge. Once you've developed knowledge and you keep playing it safe, you know, once you have the knowledge, you can actually play it a little more risky. I saw a comment, wait. Good stream. Thank you. Mean Coin Millionaire. I like your username. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Somebody told me, why are you not using your soundboard? I use my soundboard onto my own live streams. They're very similar to these ones, to be honest. Like the live streams on my personal YouTube channel. So if you want to see the ones that are more, you know, direct with the soundboard and stuff, just check them out. Check the live streams out on my personal YouTube channel. It's also linked down in the description. Here, I want to keep it more informative. I want to keep it more like, you know, my live streams on my channel, I would say they're more like entertainment focused. And these are more like educational focused. So I don't want to use a soundboard in here, but I'm gonna use it on my personal channel. It's not going it's not going out anywhere anytime soon. Gotta get on that Phantom. Phantom doesn't support BNB. Unrivaled Dre. I think you're talking about Army. Army is not listed on BitUnix. Why? Listen, bro. If you're waiting for a coin to be listed on BitUnix, you're going to become my X liquidity. You're going to become the X liquidity of everybody that is like sitting on this room. Why? Because we buy before the big centralized exchanges. You want to buy a coin. You want to buy the kind of coins that I look into before they're listed on a centralized exchange. Because obviously a coin that is what, a meme coin that is like 1.60 million in market cap, it's not going to be listed on a centralized exchange. Maybe when it's like 5 to 10 million. Once it's here, all right, let's say that the chart, maybe it doesn't go backward, but let's say that the chart does something like this, okay, and it's here, or maybe here. Let's say that it's like 5 million market cap, then it's going to be listed on a centralized exchange. But if you buy now, and I'm not saying it does necessarily, but whatever. If you buy now, you're buying a 3x before it goes on a centralized exchange. So you're going to be making a lot of money. If you buy these sort of coins after they're listed on centralized exchanges, perhaps you're gonna, you know, suffer a big dump after, and you're gonna lose a lot of money. So you want to be early, okay? That is so important, guys. So important. Jonah, Clash is the only way. Check it out on Solana. All right. I'll take a look. Thank you for your donation. 6NRA. I can do copy paste. Ah, I know this one. It's the one of what's the name? George, the famous YouTuber. 𝗙𝗏𝗏. I like this one actually. I saw it. So basically he's like, I think he's live streaming every Friday playing Clash of Clans. Am I right? 12K follower. Let me see who follows this. Oh, some good KOLs that I know. All right. The page is active. He's live streaming every week, right? That's pretty cool. I gotta say, this is nice. I like it. Now, would I buy it? I feel like you missed the boat a little bit, but the correction here was crazy. So it went from 80 mil to 19, and then 85 to 50. There's a sizable correction here. How far is it from the all-time high? 35. Usually my sweet spot for accumulating meme coins is like 40 to 60% down from the all-time high. So this could be a good zone for accumulation. Can I run maybe the Fibonacci? Wait. All right. So usually, like, this is the area that I would start accumulating, perhaps if I'm really, really bullish on a coin. So it would be this area. So what I would do, if I really want to buy this, I would start buying a little bit like here. And then maybe I miss the boat, or maybe I wait for a DCA to like around this area. Okay, so it would still be in this box. So maybe it can go down to like 43 million, something like that. But still, yeah, it's a decent correction. I think it's good. I saw this project around. I think it's good. Run should do something like that. I know that Run is planning some things, but yeah. I mean, I don't think that Run plays Clash Royale, though. Should I ask him? Maybe I can ask him. I'm going to text him after this live stream. But yeah, this is cool. There's also a website. place anywhere in the top 10 for prices. So he's also giving away money. I like it. I like it. Now, obviously, this is not going to give you a 100x returns. It's not really trenches, but there's utility. People are making money. I like it. Shout out to this guy. I think he's doing the right thing. And obviously, he has the size, the following size to do it, because obviously it's not something that a small creator will be able to pull off. But in his position, well done. I think he's killing it. And the chart shows, I mean, there's a lot of creator coins that just rug within 24 hours. So yeah, that's good. I like it. It's about to go live on Kraken. Interesting. Interesting. Thanks for the alpha. Sounds interesting for sure. Staking coming out. So staking also, usually when there's like staking and lockouts, like it's usually bullish, because obviously the majority, the more tokens are staked and stuff, like the less tokens are going to be on the open market to sell. So usually it gives a little more stability. So that's bullish. What else? Oh, I also wanted to give a shout out to this project, because I think it's killing it when it comes to marketing. I bought a large bag of this one. Full disclosure, I bought heavy on this one. I gave an alert at 1 million in market cap and it went to 3 million. So we did a 3x. And here was the day of the liquidation event. Then obviously the market has been quite crappy. So we did around a 3x in my group. If you want to get the alerts of my group, you guys know where to find them. It's linked down in the description. Cepryl's War Room is my private community. It's accessible right there. You can pay in crypto. You can pay in fiat. Obviously with crypto it's 3 months minimum. Otherwise you can pay monthly with fiat, however you want, or you can get a lifetime membership. It's only one payment. But anyway, we did a 3x here. We're making multiple X's for every call really every day, but these are some of the ones that I hold a little longer. These are not really like trenches. I like this one. I really like it. It's a Mad Fury character like 𝗵𝗵𝗃, okay? I did a 3x on this, and I called so many of this, to be completely honest. Like, even if you go on my X, just in case a lot of you guys don't know me, probably because obviously I've just recently joined Banter and the team of Banter, but I've made several calls into the Mad Fury ecosystem. I called a 111x on Beast, and Boss Burger did a 20x, Hoppy did a 50x. Those are all verifiable. I've called it into my VIP group. You can check them out if you join. And the scorecards are legit. They're not LARP. So what I can say is that I think that this one has potential. It's a bit original. It's still trending. It has suffered, obviously, because the market has suffered a lot. But if meme coin season comes around like really, really heavy, and it's not just trenches like trading in and out, I think this is one has potential. What else? GRIPPY, we did an 8x on GRIPPY. This was one of the first calls. Now it's been nuked. And it's been nuked for a variety of reasons. Obviously, exchanges, plus the market has been shit. Chaos started dumping, whatever. But regardless, I called this coin here. All right, I called this coin here and it went here. It's an 8x. This is why I tell you to take profits. Take your damn profits. You never know what's gonna happen to a chart. But anyway, it's a win. 8x. If you didn't make money, I'm sorry, but you probably should have made money. Also, you guys were here the last live stream. I called BLOCKYBOY. I called it here at 500k. Check out the last live stream. I called this during my last live stream on Crypto Banter. We went a 3x. All right. From 500k to 1.5 mil, all right? 3x right there. So yeah, a lot of good wins recently, even on Ethereum ecosystem. And also, I want to give a shout out to this team because it's freaking awesome. The 𝗙𝗵𝗍𝗍 team. These guys are killing it. Oh my god. Another project that we traded heavily. We did some multipliers into my VIP group. The narrative of this is so simple because it's very simple to the one of Pudgy Penguins. And they just released an NFT collection. Let me find the post. There's also a giveaway ongoing, by the way, so check it out. They're giving away $250 and an NFT. Guys, this was crazy. They sold out this NFT collection in 22 minutes. So this is some stuff that is happening on chain that excites me. So if you're bullish on Pudgy Penguins, Pandu was also very bullish. It was freaking pandas and it went to 30 million. 𝗙𝗵𝗍𝗍 is 1 million. They did this NFT collection. It went sold out in 22 minutes. In my opinion, it looks really good. Look at the NFTs. They're actually so nice. There's so many people that are talking about it. And a lot of this reach of these KOLs is actually organic. Like, I generally talk about it because I like it. And I bought a map to support it. Looks really good. Look at the NFTs. They're actually quite cool. I like them. DXP, great stream. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. BLOCKYBOY exploded. Yeah. I hope you made some money, bro. Like, it was literally free money. I gave it to you guys, and then he did a 3x right after. So that was literally free money. All right. All right. So I'm going to go back to making some money. The trenches need me. So I'm going to go back to the trenches. If you want to join my private Discord and trench with me and my team, I also have other 40 members at this moment, and we all trench together 24/7. So I hope to see you there, guys. Everything is linked down in the description. Get access to Axiom so you can start trading on BNB, on Solana. If you want more educational video, also let me know down in the comments. We're going to do plenty more of this. Link for Axiom is down in the description of this video. I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.